Thank you for tuning in to Comedy Kitchen. I'm Dennis Wirth, and while we're hitting a good part of Massachusetts with this show, and we're also on YouTube worldwide, we are filming right out of LA TV studios here in Leominster, so if there's something I think the folks in Leominster should hear about, it's my job to bring it to you. And a friend of mine I met on the comedy circuit and the local circuit here in Leominster is running for Leominster School Committee. I think he's got a good thing to say, and I wanted to get him out to you people in Leominster, so please welcome Mike DellaMonaca.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. It's great being in the audience for the show here. And just a couple of things. Usually, I'm featured on a program called The Bottom Line. It is shown here on LA TV, and it's taped at FA TV. So while I like to contribute things to LA TV in terms of me interviewing people, this is kind of a first because I'm the interviewee. I'm the person talking about myself at this point. So it's a little new to me. I'm not a politician. I'm not really versed in the political world, but I'll do my best here to tell you a little bit about what I'm doing here. I'm a resident of the city of Leominster, and I've been a practicing attorney for 18 years. And I've never really been involved in politics or political office or anything like that. But basically what's inspired me to sort of give something back to the city is that I'm seeing a little too much, for lack of a better term, politics or backbiting with regard to the local boards and local committees and whatnot in Leominster. You see a lot of nasty stuff in the newspaper. You see a lot of nasty stuff going on, whether it be social media and these various other things. And I think that that's fine if you want to talk about the state or the national level, where you're talking about grandstanding, when you're talking about people making speeches, people with personal agendas. But when you're talking about local government, it really needs to be run deliberately, efficiently, without a big show, without a lot of things that, without a lot of just grandstanding, hey, look at me. We just need to come together, run things, compromise, get together, and do what's best for the city. And so as a result, I'm running for school committee in the city of Leominster. And again, first time I've ever run for political office. Luckily, I have folks like Dennis who are offering his own moral support, and actually he's going to be assisting me with the fundraiser coming up. And I have other folks in the city of Leominster who have gotten on board. And a lot of people have given me a lot of positive feedback and a lot of encouragement. So it's great to see. I filed my papers. I'm certified for the ballot. I will be formally declaring for Ward 3 School Committee. Now, Ward 3 is basically, can you vote for me? Well, if you live in the city of Leominster and you vote at the Leominster, excuse me, the Leominster Eagles Hall, then you vote in Ward 3. And so I would just have you listen to what I have to say. If you think I'm a smart choice for the city of Leominster and the kids of the city of Leominster, I appreciate your vote. Basically, it's a 5-point platform that I'm running on, and it's a 5-point pledge. And quite honestly, if I'm successful and in the 2 years I don't abide by my 5-point pledge, you kick me right out. What the 5 points are as follows. First of all, I pledge that, I think it's somebody, I have to look up who said it, but 50% of success, I think the saying goes, is showing up. And one thing that I promise that I will do is I will not miss a single school committee meeting. And you may say, well, he's a busy lawyer. He's an established lawyer in my practices in Fitchburg, and I live in Leominster. Well, he's really busy. He's got other things going on. And so is he just going to be absent for a lot of these things? Absent a illness to myself or my family, I am not going to miss any meetings. I have tailored my work schedule to make sure that we will not miss any meetings, or I will not miss any meetings. And connected to that, number 2 is I am going to return every phone call and respond to every email or message that is sent to me. One reason I've been able to build up my law practice successfully over the last few years is because I do something that unfortunately a lot of attorneys have gotten out of the habit of doing, actually responding to phone calls, usually within the same day. That's the number one complaint I hear about attorneys, not their rates or anything like that, but rather that I left him a message or I left her a message and he or she never returned my phone call. So we make sure that we respond to every single email and every single phone call. The third thing is that, look, we have a lot of different political opinions. We have a lot of different opinions in general about how things should be run. The primary purpose of the school committee is to serve as the body that runs and administers the school district, and we need to make sure that we answer to the parents and to the children of the schools of the city of Leominster. And that's important to me. So look, if someone who I may not or always go along with politically or just in general comes up with a good idea and I can work together with that person to make it happen, it's about putting egos aside and making sure that that things, that basically that we work together, okay? And the fourth thing, and it's related to that, is, look, one thing that I see, unfortunately, in politics, and it's filtered down to local politics, is a lot of negative campaigning, negative ads, negatives in general. And I see way too much of, this is wrong, that's wrong, he didn't do this, she promised this, he didn't do that, that's bad, this person's bad. What we need to do when we're talking about local government is we need to focus on what we can do. Not what's wrong, but what's either what's right or what we can do right. We have to focus on the positive. That's how we get things done. I'm not saying sugarcoat things or make things or sweep things under the rug. When things need to be addressed, they need to be addressed. When things are wrong, they need to be addressed. But what are you going to do about it? What's your solution? Rather than criticize, say what's wrong, criticize someone's personal life, criticize what somebody has done in the past, use inflammatory language. No, why don't we try to fix what the issue is and make it better? And last but not least, although this is my first foray into politics, I'm not using it as a stepping stone. I don't have eyes on city council or mayor or state representative or any of those things. My goal in running, I have 2 little kids, I have a family, and my wife and my kids are excited about me doing this, and really I'm doing it for them. And I'm doing it for the students and the parents of the city of Leominster. We really need to make sure, look, dollars are at a premium, finances are at a premium. We need to make sure that those dollars are working the best way possible for the students and the parents and for the teachers. Those are the boots on the ground that oftentimes don't get the support that they need. And whatever I can do to change that, that's what I look to do. So again, that's really my 5-point pledge. Thank you so much, Dennis, for having me on, and I look forward to your support, folks.
I'm Dennis Wirth of the Comedy Kitchen, and you've just entered the oven. All right, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. This is episode 30 of the Comedy Kitchen. We're going to make some beef and mushroom today. Very quick dish, easy to make, and very yummy. For today's episode, I brought on one of my friends from comedy. Please help me welcome Scott MacNeil. Scott, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Dennis. Thanks for having me. I'm
excited?
I'm very excited to be here, yes.
There you go. You ready to cook something up?
I'm ready to cook whatever we're ready to do.
Beef and mushroom, we on? We're ready?
My favorite.
Thumbs up. We're ready. All right, first thing we're going to do before we get started, we got some vegetable oil, and we're going to, here, you can open that because we get you involved. Pour that about halfway full right there.
So we're going to be an optimist here. We're halfway full.
There you go. Is the pan half full or half empty? So you're the optimist, it's half full.
We'll ask the viewers at home to decide for themselves.
Keep going. That's about a quarter. That's good. Right
10W30.
Beautiful. All right. So as we're waiting for our vegetable oil to heat up, I can take that back.
Thank you, sir.
Tell the folks at home, how'd you get started on comedy?
Well, I've always had my sense of humor, and around 4th grade, I started reading Mad magazines. 1994, I was working for an oil heating company, and a coworker encouraged me to start writing my jokes down. And in 2008, I went to see Stephen Wright get an award, and I had no other agenda. I met Tony V there, and he invited me to try stand-up comedy down at Giggles in Saugus.
And the rest is history, huh?
And we're still building some of the history, too.
See that? It's an addictive hobby, isn't it? Once you get started, you don't want to stop.
I can quit any time. It's just not going to be today.
Just not today. Not on the Comedy Kitchen, anyway. That's right. All right, what we need to do is, you see a little plastic bowl over there?
Yes, sir.
With the spoon. All right, you want to grab your cornstarch there and maybe fill that about between a quarter and a halfway full. Pour that right on it.
Okay.
There you go. Who does the cooking in your house, Scott?
The microwave.
The microwave? You big, big frozen food guy? That's good.
Very
That's good. That's good.
thankful.
All right. Do you remember when you were in school and you had to make art projects and you used Elmer's glue?
Absolutely.
All right. So we're going to add a little bit of water to that and try to make it into a paste like Elmer's glue.
Are we doing wallpapering
You
today?
see that? You never know what you're going to do in the Comedy Kitchen there, Scott.
Gotta be ready for anything. Mix it together, I
Mix
assume.
that right up so it looks like Elmer's glue. Not too thick, not too thin. You want that
Consistency.
right in between. That's right.
I think I need a little bit more.
There you go. See?
I'm going to have to redo my whole resume after today.
See that? You can add Comedy Kitchen to your resume.
Absolutely.
That's a credit many people, select few,
It's a door opener.
enjoy. All right, so as you're doing that, how long have you been doing comedy now for?
Just over 6.5 years.
Over 6.5 years. In 6.5 years, what's your favorite memory in comedy?
Well, actually, it was last fall. You know, there's a lot of comedians that I love. Stephen Wright is my favorite. I went to see him perform, I think it was last November up in Concord, New Hampshire. And after the show, I went backstage, and there were quite a few people there. He said something funny. I laughed, and he looked over, and he pointed, and he said, "Scott, I didn't know that you were here." And I'm like, wow, I didn't even know. I'd met him a bunch of times, but I didn't know he remembered my name.
There you go. You're memorable in comedy now.
And when everybody left, we sat down and had a nice conversation, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. He's a great guy. He's not only funny, but he's a great person.
Yeah, you get that. A lot of people, you think once they get big, they forget where they come from. Then you meet them, and they're just normal people like me and you. So you never know, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. The next thing we are going to do is you can't make beef and mushroom without what?
Beef and mushroom?
You got it.
It was a wild guess.
That was a good guess, Scott. All right, so we have our little strips of beef here, okay? So you want to open those right on up.
My fingers, not my teeth, right?
See, and we all sterilized our hands before we started,
Absolutely.
so we're
We can
good to
attest
go.
to that.
All right, now we don't want any oil burns here in the Comedy Kitchen, so don't splash, but gently set those right on into the oil there. You good?
One at a time kind of
One
thing?
at a time, gently, no splashes.
Oh, yeah, I
There
can
we
hear it
go.
sizzling away there.
Shh. See, we get the sounds in the Comedy Kitchen, don't you worry.
3D surround sound.
Oh, we got a splash. Take it easy.
I was getting carried away. It's the excitement.
See that? Everybody gets excited on the Comedy Kitchen. Maybe a couple more and that should be good.
Okay.
There's one more. Whamma jamma. All right, we're going to let those, you know what, we're going to set our little cover off to the side here so I can get a little stir on these. All right, so as we're doing this, I know a lot of times in comedy, and all the time you've been doing it, this happens to me too. Some nights are great, some nights not so great.
Oh, that's for sure.
Some nights you hit the drunks, you hit the hecklers. What's one of the wackiest stories, the craziest things ever happened to you in comedy so far?
I've been pretty fortunate with like hecklers and that sort of thing. I had a joke in a set where I told them, I said, my issues with procrastination have become so severe that I've decided to commit suicide the first chance I get. And one of the drunks in the audience yelled out, he said, "I'll buy you the gun." I yelled back to him, I said, "You'll be the first one I use it on."
There you go. So you always got to have the comeback, right?
Yes.
There you go.
And luckily it ended without any fists or police or anything like that.
No, you don't need to get into that.
Yes.
You don't want no
Avoid that at all
repercussions.
costs.
Right. So what are some of your hot spots? Where can people catch you on the circuit if they want to come out and see Scott MacNeil?
Well, I've got a good one coming up here. Actually, it's on the 8th, August 8th. I'm going to be in Manchester, New Hampshire at the Radisson Hotel called Headliners. It's run by Rob Steen, and you can find it online.
Absolutely. Great room. I've played it myself.
And Will Noonan will be the headliner.
And there you go. So if you want to catch a show, you head on up to see Scott at Headliners in Manchester.
He'll be there.
And he'll be there to make you laugh, just like we're going to want. What's your favorite room to play? If you had to pick one, where do you like to go?
I really don't have just any place where there's people that's a good time and people are laughing and we're
Anywhere
having
you
fun.
can make them laugh, there you go. Don't matter the venue as long as you got people laughing.
And they're all friends, yes.
Absolutely. All right, so as we're doing this, let's grab our other half over here. We got the beef, and then we got...
Mushrooms.
A
Who would have thought
mushroom.
that beef and mushrooms would have
Yeah,
mushrooms
easy,
in it?
this is getting Scott. So open those right on up, put a few on your cutting board there.
Okay. Like 3 or 4 of them, perhaps?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
1, 2, 3,
Cuatro.
4. All right, and then over, I'm going to put a few on my cutting board. Grab a knife right up there, and you want to put those into some slices if you would.
Okay. How do I do it over here?
All right. So you're going to make some beef and mushroom at home now that you're learning how to do it?
Yes, I'm going to be, like people
go-
at home should do, DVR this, and you can watch it again and again.
You know,
okay?
we can get you away from the microwave. We're going to get you into some healthy food here, okay?
You're going to do a food intervention on
That's
me.
right, absolutely. Do-do-do-do.
That's looking good already, and healthy too. Huh?
That's right. Healthy's the key. You can snack every now and then, but you want to stick to the healthy food if you can.
Absolutely.
Do-do-do-do.
You make cooking fun, Dennis.
I try to make cooking fun. I don't know. Do-do-do-do. What are some of your hot spots? Where do you like to go out to eat if you go out to eat?
Oh, gee, once in a while I like to go to the Outback.
The Outback. There you go, steakhouse. One of my
Yeah.
personal favorites.
Yeah, they've great meal.
Do you get in line and do the dance?
To do the dance? They
The
have a
line
dance?
dance at the Outback? Oh, no, wait, no, that's Texas Roadhouse. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I'll have to try that
There
too.
you go. You try the Texas Roadhouse, and
think
you
it
can do
was-
the line dance
How's that one?
absolutely with them.
Mouth-watering. Huh?
All right, Scott, we got a section of the show. It is called Funny Food Questions.
Okay,
You ready for a funny food question?
I'm as ready as can be.
You're as ready as you'll ever be. Let's do it. Here we go. Scott,
Yes, sir.
if you went grocery shopping and you came home with some urinal, what do you think you'd be coming home with?
A big mistake.
A big mistake. Well, you're at the grocery store, keep in mind, okay? You're
Okay.
shopping, you got something, it's called urinal at the grocery store, you put it in your bag, cart, come home, what do you think coming home with?
It just sounds like a mouth-watering beverage to
A
me.
beverage to you. All right, let's take a look up here. And you're on.
Oh,
Get
wow.
some tea, right? Some
That's a
urinal
tea.
So,
A tea you turn into pee.
A urinal hot drink. That's an interesting. Would you try the urinal?
Just based on the name alone, I'd love it.
You'd have to try the urinal. I
Who
mean,
could resist?
Look at it's such a pretty box. You'd absolutely. All right. It's how much you think they're selling?
Oh, boy, something like that for me, I'd pay $20 or $30.
$20 for the urinal. All right. Hey, if you're gonna try some tea, why not try the urinal? Am I right?
Well, by the time this hits the airwaves, there probably won't be any left on the shelves.
You never know. See, we get all the good products here in the Comedy Kitchen.
The best.
All right.
Cutting edge.
So, when you were growing up and you were thinking about doing comedy, who are some of the mainstream comics that inspired you to want to try comedy?
Well, of course, I already mentioned Stephen Wright, but I love Emo Phillips. I think really Jerry Seinfeld was going at the time, but I just always kind of admired humor in general. You know,
Sure.
anything that was funny, that was absurd. I loved anybody who was absurd. Oh, and there was Henny Youngman. I mean, nobody mentions him anymore.
Oh, way
He's
back
the-
when, yeah, legend.
The king of the one-liners.
yeah. And I know you do a lot of the one-liners too. Is that where you got it from, him and Stephen Wright? Make you wanna?
I just think I can relate to them. We just happen to have the same. I didn't try to copy anybody.
Right, but the same style.
Yeah.
On the local comedy scene, we call Scott king of the one-liners right there. See?
Thank
So
you.
He's on the circuit, and that's his nickname because he's got some good ones. You out to see him at the Radisson, you'll find out for yourself. All righty, here we go. You ready? So here's what we're going to do next. Is we're going to take this without burning ourselves, and we are going to pour that right on
Wow,
into
you got the
there.
touch. Didn't spill a drop.
I don't try to. All right, the next thing we are going to do is we're going to open up our garlic here, sir.
Do I eat it directly?
Well, if you're a bold man and like to be healthy and can stomach it. All right, put a couple scoops right on in the frying pan, and there's still a little bit of oil left from coating, so we get a light coating of oil. 1,
Am I right?
2, and we're good to go. All right, you can throw the cover back on there. All right, and we're just going to lightly fry up that garlic a little bit.
Fried
here.
garlic.
A little bit.
Well,
See
it
how
looks
it's
like
popping a little bit?
Looks like Mexican jumping beans in there.
All right, so we grab our water over there. You want to pour a little bit of water in with this.
I'd love to.
Keep going. I'll tell you when to stop.
Okay.
Do-do-do. Keep going, keep going, keep going. That's about good right there. And that just cooled things off considerably now, didn't it? All right. Next thing we're going to do is we have some red cooking wine here. Maybe throw a splash of that right on in here with it.
Okay. Do I need to see a driver's license first before?
Well, we might have to take a breathalyzer. That's good, good, good. Before you go, just a light splash you want. And we're going to stir that right up. All right, next thing we are going to need, you got the salt over there. You need half a teaspoon of salt. You got your half teaspoon right on top.
That's it, okay.
Throw a half a teaspoon of salt.
Throw
right
it,
in there.
okay, let me get across the room
Catch
here.
it, throw it. I'll get a glove on. We can do whatever we got to do.
It's your show, you can go as crazy as you want.
We can absolutely go crazy.
How's that?
That's beautiful. Sprinkle that right on in. Gonna stir that right in. All right, Scott.
Yes, sir.
We actually have a mascot here on the Comedy Kitchen. His name's Bobo Banana.
Oh,
He's our
Bobo, love Bobo.
banana on the street out doing food reviews. You've seen before, right?
Absolutely.
You wanna
He gives
check
the
out-
thumbs up, the thumbs down.
That's the review. You want to check out where he's at today?
I'd love to.
You'd love
I
to.
couldn't sleep tonight without it.
Let's do it. All right, we are down here at Applebee's on North Main Street, Leominster, Massachusetts with Bobo Banana. And what are we reviewing today, Bobo? We have some mozzarella sticks. Let's take a look at them. All right. And what's your review, Bobo? Bad review on the mozzarella sticks, all right. All right, bad review over at Applebee's. I guess you don't want to try that, do you?
Well, it depends on your self-esteem. If you have low self-esteem, you want to get right over there.
Well, hey, depends on how you look at things in life. I know at Applebee's, I will tell the truth that they had half-price appetizers after 10 p.m. So everybody at the restaurant, not that we don't like our own food, but you can only eat so much of the same food. We waited until after 10. We were all going to pitch in, get a bunch of appetizers. We called up and they said that it's for eat-in only, not takeout. And half of the appetizers that, like the main ones you like, weren't included. It was only the ones you wouldn't like. So it was a big bait and switch thing over at
Oh,
Applebee's.
man.
So, be careful where you're spending your food at, am I right?
Pay attention at all times.
Absolutely right. All right, you want to grab your mushrooms there, and I'm going to grab my mushrooms, and we're going to pitch those right in here.
Okay.
Do-do-do-do.
I think maybe I'll slide them in with the cutting board. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
I think
Any
I
way
cut
they
'em a
get in
little
here
fine.
is good.
There we go.
There we go. All right, we might want to add a hair more water here because we seem to be steaming up a little bit of it.
Okay.
Keep going. That's good right there. Do-do-do-do.
Water, you can use whatever brand you prefer.
Absolutely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking the beef out of here and putting it in. And as we're doing this, tell the folks on the local scene, who are some of your favorite comics to work with on the local scene?
Oh, some of my favorites? Well, I love Lenny Clark, Johnny Peasy,
The Legends.
Alana Sesko,
Sweetheart.
Jeff Cohen,
Good guy. Funny.
Richard McCabe.
Our sound guy. And he's
Sound-
been a guest
he's
on the
sound and
Comedy
solid,
Kitchen.
yes.
Absolutely.
I really couldn't even name anyone that I don't enjoy.
I could name a few, but we won't get into that
We'll
on the
do
Comedy
that off
Kitchen.
camera.
All right, this is good. Here we go. All right, we're going to stir this up a little bit. And so what are some of your goals in comedy? Where do you hope to accomplish? Where you want to head out here?
Oh, we can always dream. I think, too, I've already achieved beyond. I thought maybe if I even tried stand-up once, that would be quite an accomplishment. Now I'm getting close to about 145 times I've performed.
Okay,
Of course, in the back of my mind, I'd love something like to be on Jimmy Fallon.
sure.
So, Jimmy, give me a call.
All right, Jimmy's watching the Comedy Kitchen. What are you
course.
kidding me? Absolutely. Hey, we get some of the same guests. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Now, this is one thing I wanted to talk about because I know you're into memories and the comedy, and I absolutely love memories because you can't put a price on that. And I know you get your picture taken with everybody, and I know I've had my picture taken a couple times. You're very proud of the pictures you get, and you've got some big-time celebrities. Who are some of the big celebrities you get your picture taken with?
Oh, gee, Lindsay Wagner and Lee Majors, Barbara Eden.
The Bionic, the Genie.
Yes, and Larry Storch. He was Agarn on F Troop.
F Troop, yeah, way back.
Yes, and-
Well, actually, a lot of our visitors won't remember. I remember F Troop. Some of the younger kids have no clue.
and one was the singer Chuck Negron of Three Dog Night. I
Sure.
read his autobiography years ago, and I was like, boy, it'd be great to meet him. And then a couple of years ago, someone called me up and said, we'd like you to open up for Chuck Negron. And I was like, well, Pinch
Pinch
me
you,
up.
wake up, right? Well, yeah.
And Mark Lindsay, he was the lead singer of Paul Revere and the Raiders. I've got a whole wall on my Facebook of all sorts of celebrities that I've met. And in fact, later this evening, I'm going into Boston to have my picture taken with Stan Lee.
There you go. And I'll be there tomorrow, actually. I'm getting my picture taken with Stanley.
I'll tell him to expect you.
Absolutely. You say if the child support superhero's coming to see you tomorrow, Stan, you set him hip for what's going on. But and I know a few weeks ago I saw the picture. You actually got your picture taken with Adam West, the original Batman.
Oh,
right.
right. That was just like a month ago.
Another superhero right there.
He's actually 86 years old.
Yeah, I know. You remember when they're young. They don't get. We all get old, don't we?
I remember when I was young. Gee,
time flies when you're cooking up beef and mushroom, don't it?
That's it.
Absolutely. All right. The next thing we are going to do here, sir, is we have some soy sauce. I got the light soy sauce, but
oh yeah,
because I'm watching my weight here. Yeah.
It feels like
It's lighter than the normal. All right, we're going to go ahead and throw some of that right in there.
okay. You just tell me
You
when.
pour it in the middle. I'll tell you when you want. Right about there's good. All right.
Okay. I'll take
Got
the rest
about
home and drink
3,
it there.
4 splashes. All right. Next thing we're going to do, you know your Elmer's glue that you made over there?
Oh yes.
All right. You want to get that right over here. Maybe set the spoon on the cutting board there.
Okay.
Looks like some fine Elmer's glue right there.
Yes.
All right, well, you want to set it close to here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop right in there. And I am going to grab about 1 scoop. 1 second. We are going to grab another scoop.
Whoa.
A little thick on your Elmer's glue
You're
there.
just going crazy
And
here.
we need about another half right about there.
This is sort of
That's good.
stick to the
That's
ribs.
our thickener right there. We're going to thicken this right up a
The
little bit.
viscosity. Huh?
And we're going to make this look like some very good beef and mushroom.
Wow, look at that. It's mouth-watering.
You see how thick it's starting to get there?
Looks like that'd keep you going for a couple of meals.
See now, when you go out to eat beef and mushroom, you think that it's more difficult than it really is, right? Wasn't this a simple little recipe?
It is.
Simpler than you'd think it
Well,
would
you
be,
know
right?
the ways to make it work and cut right through it.
Absolutely. All right, grab your water. And I mean just a pinch of water we want to put back in here.
All right.
Right over it. There you go, good.
Teamwork.
Teamwork, and we get it all done here on the Comedy Kitchen. All right, you know what this means? We're getting close. You ready for our final ingredient here?
I'm ready.
We got a little bit of sesame oil here. You want to open up
man.
the sesame oil?
This is going to make this thing rock, huh?
That's where it all comes together. All right, throw a little sesame oil in there. That's good. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Just a
Kaboom.
little pinch of sesame oil. Do-do-do-do. Stir this right up. All right, we're going to slide this off to one side. We are going to slide this off over here. Maybe pull your cutting board back. I'm going to set your plate
Legs.
right
Oh,
over
man,
there.
we're getting there, huh?
Set my plate here. Throw your fork on your plate. My fork on my plate. We are going to turn our little oven off here.
I think this is a hint of things to
I'm
come.
going to throw a little bit on your plate.
Mm.
I am going to throw a little bit on my plate. All right. Scott,
Yes, sir.
are you ready for my favorite part of the show?
I always feel like you should have a drum roll at this point.
We should put a drum roll in here. We just might do that at ending. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
This is the ultimate
Just
test.
remember it's hot. We don't want to burn ourselves.
Right.
Little. Go for it.
Mmm.
Mm-hmm.
That is good. It looks great and tastes even better.
It's all good on the Comedy Kitchen. All right, Scott. This is the Comedy Kitchen. We have done the food part. Would you be nice enough to give the folks at home some of your stand-up comedy?
Nice enough? I can't wait.
He'd be excited to, and we will be right back. Welcome back. Now you know at home how to make the beef and mushroom a fun and easy dish you can cook up. Please be sure to check out my website, www.denniswirth.webs.com. Joke in the Box Comedy Clubs. One of the guys who has performed there before, I gave you the comedy magic of my friend, Mr. Scott MacNeil. Go get him, Scott.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, everyone. I've been dating a woman who has 8 personalities, and I'm heartbroken because last night 5 of them broke up with me. I crossbred an English pointer with a hyena. Now all I have is this pet that just points and laughs at me. I want to hire someone who's a prophet and a mind reader. That way they can tell me what I'll be thinking tomorrow. My grandfather has advanced Alzheimer's. He's already forgotten things that haven't happened yet. I went through a series of electroshock therapy treatment sessions. Most parents just hire a clown for your birthday. I grew up in such a tough neighborhood. One day, a bully gave me a bloody nose, and he wouldn't tell me who it belonged to. I had an imaginary friend, but I was still terribly lonely because, well, we were poor and he was coin-operated. I told my lawyer that I need to file a discrimination case against my former employer. They fired me just because my imaginary friend is black. Someone offered me a trial-size shampoo, but I turned it down because my bathroom's too small to fit a jury. All the fictional books I like haven't been written yet. My employer asked me if I'd be interested in a 401k, and I said, "You are crazy." I said, "There ain't no way you're going to get me to run any 249 miles. I walked into a business and I asked me, "I use your phone?" And they said, "Hey, wait a minute." They said, "Is it local?" I said, "Is it local? It's right on your desk." I was pulling up to an intersection and I noticed the sign said four-way stop, and I was thinking, well, I know how to use the brakes, but I have no idea what the other three methods would be. A state trooper clocked me at 110. He said, "Hey, didn't you see the signs back there that say 55 miles an hour? I said, "Yeah, but I can't help it. I have double vision." I'm not quite as generous as some people. On my driver's license, it just says organ loaner. I got in some trouble for walking around a department store in my socks and underwear. It turns out I just misunderstood the sales sign that said take up to 70% off. I was just about to dive in the ocean when the lifeguard yelled. He said, "Hey, buddy." He said, "Didn't you see the sign? It says no nude swimming." And I yelled back, I said, "Don't worry about it, because I have no idea how to swim." When my mother-in-law passed on, I was put in charge of having an appropriate ceremony for her ashes. I tried to honor this, but I couldn't get them all in one flush. Are you enjoying this, Mike? I was driving along down another street and I saw a sign that said, "Pedestrian crosswalk 20 miles an hour." So I hit the gas, laid on the horn, and that sign was right. They had to be running at least that fast. I used to have a drug-sniffing dog, and that stupid thing cost me $500 a day. The other day I was in the middle of a job interview when the human resource person leaned forward, looked me in the eye, and said, "Scott, you should know we do random drug testing." I said, "No way, you're kidding." I said, "Me too." For our 7th anniversary, my wife said to just get her something practical. So I got her a book called Surviving Infidelity. My wife caught me in bed with a couple of women, and she said, "What the hell are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I went for a physical this morning, and he told me I better get my affairs in order." I'm blind in one eye, but it's all right because I have double vision in the other. I bought a seeing eye dog for my kid. He's not blind. I'm just too lazy to read to him at night. Yeah. When I was a kid, I went up to my parents and I said, "My doll is broken." They said, "No, Scott, this doll is much more advanced. On this one, when you pull the string, it listens." Thank you all very much. I turn you back over to Mr. Dennis Wirth. It's so great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott, for being on. All right, I'd like to thank our small studio audience. I'd like to thank the crew. Most of all, I thank you guys at home. Till next time, remember, eat well and laugh well, folks. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.